Welcome everyone to the game between Hans Niemann and Vladimir Fedoseev in the first round of the Tata Steel Chess Masters 2026 in Wijkanse, Netherlands. Hans, playing in his first ever Wijkanse, opens the game with 1e4, the first ever Masters section. And Fedosiev responds back with e5. It'll be interesting to see how this game transpires. Knight comes out to f3. Knight to f6. We have the Petrov defense on the board. And here you can take the pawn on e5. You can also play d4. He takes, knight takes on e5. Pawn comes up to d6, attacking the knight on e5. White jumps back with his knight. And knight takes e4 taken. Knight c3 is one of the main moves here. There's also d4. Will be interesting to see what move Hans chooses. He goes pawn to d4. One remembers the game of Hans versus Erdogmus from the FIDE Grand Swiss, where Hans managed to win in just like 20 odd moves. Bishop comes out to d3. The Petrov is a very solid opening, but it's also possible to always have some new idea against it with the white side. Bishop comes out to d6. And in a very symmetrical position, you can see that the black knight is on e4. And Hans gets himself some water. White castles. And this knight, which is slightly more advanced, could become the reason why white can play for an advantage. Short castle here. And now knight can come out to d2. He goes pawn to c4. Taking on c4 would drop the knight on e4 square. So c6 seems like the most logical move to bolster the center. Now the idea is to go bishop f5, knight d7 and continue in that way. Rook e1 played, putting pressure here on the e4 knight. bg4 is, I think, what Jan has played before. Bishop f5. Jan Nepomniachtchi has played bishop g4 here. He goes bishop f5. And now this little move, which is quite irritating because I'm attacking this pawn here. If you go queen b6, I can just come back queen c2 and then threaten c5. So queen d7 played, defending the pawn, defending the knight. Also, the pawn in the center is not hanging because bishop h2 and you lose the queen. The pawn comes up to c5. Now, if you go bishop e7, then I can jump in with my knight to e5, which is the reason why you have to play your bishop to c7. And Vladimir does it because if queen b7, bishop h2 and you lose the queen. So that's not good news. So Hans goes knight to c3. Again, his idea is to take. And if you take knight takes c3, then I can play bishop f5, queen f5 and pawn takes c3, attacking b7. So that is possible. And in fact, you can even take and think about taking here. These are some possibilities, but he goes rook e8 here, defending e4 and bishop e3. Till the pawn on h2 can be captured, the pawn on b7 is not really hanging. And a move like knight c5 is met with bishop f5 attacking the queen. So bishop g6 played. This is the first new move of the game and the first new move that has been ever played. Some threats could include knight c5, pawn c5 and take on d3. So he goes g3 and notice the small change. Now bishop h2 doesn't fall with a check, which means the b7 pawn is now hanging. So b6 seems like a very logical move to play. Or bishop a5, but he goes knight takes c5. And Hans Niemann, he looks at his opponent and he's like, what? What are you doing, Vladimir? He takes on c5. And now the question is, who's right, who's wrong? Bishop takes d3 is a free pawn for black. And Hans Niemann just calculates here with his head pressed down. He's 1 hour 51 minutes. He can't believe that his opponent is just giving up this free pawn here. Queen b7. And the point here is after queen b7, how do you save your rook? Because if you play knight a6, there's knight to e5. Fantastic move. Attacking the queen and the bishop. And if you play rook e5, the rook on a8 is hanging. Can you visualize that? Queen b7. He's actually going for it. He takes it. Queen b7. And this is +3 position. It's over. Knight to a6, knight e5. Attacking here and here. If rook e5, this is hanging. If you play queen f5, I just take and just take on c6. And I'm completely winning. So queen b7. And Fedoseev, he writes down the move. And I think he's completely messed it up. He had something on his mind, but it seems that that thing isn't really good. And so with 1:33 minutes on the clock, 1 hour 33 minutes, Fedoseev starts to think, like, what the hell have I done here? What are the other possibilities? If you play bishop g3, I simply take queen takes d7 and then pick up your bishop. If you take here, I take back. You're a piece down. I mean, this is no compensation. And so thinks and thinks and thinks, I think. And he resigns. And Hans Niemann can't believe that his opponent has resigned here. And Ivanchuk is shocked. He's stunned what happened. It's just 16 moves and the game is over. And he's explaining that. And everyone's shocked. Erwin Lamy is shocked. Arbiter is shocked. Marc-Andrea Morizzi is shocked. Vladimir Ivic is shocked. I think they are all surprised. Fedoseev gets up. Hans Niemann scores his first win in like an hour. And he wins in just 16 moves. A big win for him as he starts off in a good way at this tournament. He will surely be fighting for the top spots in this tournament. And Fedoseev comes back to place the pieces again. Well, what a game this was. Happens very rarely at top level chess.